Okay, we will start. I don't think anyone else is going to turn up. Today it's going to be a little bit less Pilates, more stretching, flexibility, mobility based thing. And the main reason for that is that I've had quite a few people message me this week, either for massages or just general advice, because they're either sitting more and not exercising as much as they were before the lockdown, or they're exercising more and everyone's bodies are just a bit sore. So we're going to do some stretching and some mobility work rather than some harder stuff, if that makes sense. It's still going to be difficult, but it's more kind of getting things stretched out. So if you find it difficult to kneel for long periods of time, it might be a good idea to get yourself a cushion, a pillow, a jumper that's folded up, or you can, if you haven't got any of that, you can double over a section of your mat, so you end up with like a thicker part of it when we're doing stuff on our knees. It's completely up to you. I'll give you a minute or so now to go and grab something if you are going to get a pillow or a cushion. We're going to spend, oh wait, someone's back. We're going to spend between 30 seconds and a minute in each position before we move on to another position. So it is not going to be a long time in one place, but it's going to be longer than we've spent before, potentially. I hope that makes sense. I'll talk you through everything as normal. We're going to start today on the mat, and you're going to start in a child's pose. So your toes are going to be together, your knees are going to be wide, you're going to push your hips back towards your heels, you're just going to lay your head down towards the floor. If you want to, you can be on your forearms, but your gaze is going to be down towards the ground. And we're just trying to lengthen from the tip of our head down to our bum, pushing our bum back towards our heels, reaching with our fingertips, and relaxing down into the floor. Breathing nice and naturally. And you're going to stay in this position for another 30 seconds. So either down with the head towards the floor, or we're resting on the forearms, trying to push our hips back and our head and spine as long as possible. So one of those two positions, holding here, breathing naturally in there. 15 more seconds left. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Relaxing into the position. You've 5 seconds left. And then you're going to take your left hand to the left edge of your mat. And then your right hand is going to come on top and you're going to stay in the same position that you were in before. So your head's going to be down towards the ground. You should feel a long stretch down the side of the body. Again, you can be on the forearms if you need to be. But just twisting towards one edge of your mat. Same child's pose set up as before, but just lean slightly to the side. In through the nose, out through the mouth, so you're in this position. As you exhale, try and push your hips further back towards your heels. Head goes further down towards the ground. Try to relax here. Halfway through this side. Try to relax in position, let go of any stress. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Ten more seconds, and then we're going to swap to the other side. Again, 10 to relax into this position. Right hand comes to right edge of mat, left hand comes over top, and the same thing again. Head goes down towards the floor, or on those forearms, our hips are going back, and our head is nice and long, our spine is long. Either forearms or down. Hands on the floor, head towards the ground, legs wide. The wider the legs are, the more space there is for our hips. Hips pressing back, reaching long with the fingers. You're just relaxing here. Halfway on this side. Breathing nice and naturally, don't hold your breath. Staying nice and calm in the position. Hips pressing back towards heels, reaching nice and long through the fingertips. 15 more seconds before we change positions. Yeah, stay nice and relaxed. Nice calm breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. From this position, we're going to come up onto our hands and our knees. So that all-four position. We're going to lean weight forward over our wrists. Arms stay straight, hands stay flat. And then we're going to sit back onto our heels. So we're just rocking forward and back, switching the weight over the wrists to sat back. You need to have your knees wide, that's fine. You've got like a bump in the way, you've got your pregnant ladies in. Feeling forward, over the wrists, and back. We've got about 16 movements we're going to do today. We're going to go through them all twice. Back and forth, over the wrists. Long stretch up the forearms, arms stay straight. Pressure goes off as we sit back again, breathing naturally, head looking down between the hands. 10 more seconds. Okay, you've got two options for the next one. Your first option, you go from your hands and knees, you press into a downward facing dog. So your heels go to the floor, your head goes through in that triangle position, and then you come back down to the hands and knees. And you keep alternating, pausing for a second at each end of the range of motion. If you're making it slightly harder, you'll go from your downward facing dog into a cobra or an upward facing dog. And you're going to switch between that position for the full minute. Your choice whether you go hands and knees or cobra at the bottom, but everyone's going to press into a downward dog, and then either come down to the hands and knees or come down into a cobra. If you need to drop your knees in between to transition, that is fine. Pausing at each end of the range of motion. You need to take the pressure off of your wrists in between as well, that's absolutely fine. You have 10 more seconds left on this one. Just switching between the positions, long stretch up each side of the body. One more movement. And then come back to your hands and knees. Give your wrists a little shake out, take the pressure off of them. This time we're going to come to hands and knees again. We're going to do our cats and our cows. So you're going to drop your belly button down, you're going to gaze forward, your bum's going to open to the world, and then you're going to go the other way. Tuck the bum, look through the legs, spine to the ceiling. And just keep swapping nice and slowly through each range of motion. Big stretch through the spine, breathing naturally halfway through this one. Belly button drops, gaze comes forward, and then you reverse it. The head tucks, chin tucks, the spine lifts to the sky. So keep swapping between the two positions. Nice relaxed format. Got 10 more seconds left here. One more each way. Again, sit back, take the pressure off of the wrists. We've got one more here on our hands and knees. We've done this one before. We send our arms through, we thread the needle, we now shoulder towards the floor, and then we rotate towards the sky. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side. Thread through, shoulder towards the ground, rotate the spine, and then lift and open the arm, look towards the sky. So you're twisting your spine opposite directions. Last one, swap sides. Other hand goes down, thread the other way. And up towards the sky. Same movement on the other side. Shoulder towards the ground, look through, and then look up, pointing towards the ceiling. Halfway on this side. Good. Keep flowing nice and smoothly, breathing. One more. And we're going back to the first side. So hand goes down, other arm goes through. And we're going to do another 30 seconds on this side. If you need to break, you can break. You don't have to flow through the whole thing. Sit back, take some pressure off your wrists, and jump back in wherever you can. Move down on this side. One more. Thread through. Reach to the sky. Same on the other side. Thread through. This is the last lot on your hands and knees. Open up. Thread through. Open to the sky. If the thread is too hard to stay with the open and the close, 10 more seconds. Last one. Good. Sit back, take the pressure off of your wrists. This is where the pillow or rolled up jumper or folding of the mat comes in. You're going to put one knee on your nice soft object. I'll do the other one first. And you're going to take the other leg through, so you're in a lunged position. From here, you're going to tuck your bum under, you're going to squeeze your bum, you're going to squeeze your belly button, and you're going to lean forward slightly. So get a long stretch up the front of the leg. On the foot or the knee that's on the pad. Your front knee should not go past your front toes. You should be up on your heel, up on your toes with your heel raised. Your foot should be flat, and your knee should be behind the line of your toes. We're halfway through this one. The torso staying nice and upright. My bum is tucked and squeezed, my belly button is squeezed, feeling a long stretch up this front part of the leg. Just breathing naturally, holding. You've got 10 more seconds left here now. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take the front foot a little bit further forward. And this time you're not going to squeeze your body, but you're going to relax into it. So you're going to drop your hips down towards the floor. And your chest is going to drop. So your hands are going to come either side of the front foot if they can. If not, just stay upright. But you're pressing these hips down into the floor. Again, my knees shouldn't have gone past my front toes. And if you can, you're going to go down to your elbows. Whichever position is comfortable, so either on the hands, staying upright, or you can drop down to the elbows, hips pressing in towards the floor. Again, nice and relaxed, stay calm, it shouldn't hurt. So just stretch up the front of that leg. Breathing in and out, nice and relaxed. Should get easier as the time goes on, hopefully. Got 10 more seconds left on this side. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. You're going to sit back on that heel. So your bum's going to go back towards your heel, your front leg's going to go straight, and you're going to pull your toes up towards you. You might be able to sit all the way back, you might not. And then you're going to come forward and push your hips down towards the floor. You're going to alternate between the two. So sit back, press forward. Just doing 30 seconds of this. Sit back, lean forward, stretch down the back of the leg, and then lunge forward. Alternating between the two positions. 10 more seconds left here. So lean back, and then into that lunge again. Sit back, lean forward. 3, 2, 1. Rest there. Swap to the other side. So other knee goes on your soft object. And you're going to come into that first tall lunge position. Again, front knee doesn't go over front toes. My bum is squeezed. My belly button is squeezed. And I'm pressing forward with my hip. Long stretch up the front of the hip of the leg that is on the mat. 1 minute here. You're already 20 seconds in. Trying to stay relaxed. Just feel that stretch at the front of the leg. Deep into that hip. Squeezing the bum, belly button in. Nice relaxed breaths. Again, it should be painful. Might be tight. 20 seconds to go. Holding here. Nice tall torso. Deep stretch in front of that leg. 10 more seconds to go. Keep breathing. Again, if you need to break at any point, break. But the longer you can stay in the position, the deeper you'll be able to push through each one. 3, 2, 1. Take your front foot a touch further forward. Hands go down to the floor next to that foot on the inside. And drop your hips down towards the floor. So it's a deep lunge. If you can go down to your elbows. You're staying inside that front leg, hips going towards the floor, pressing into a nice, deep, deep lunge. Again, nice relaxed position. Good. You're halfway on this one, so doing a full minute on this one. Again, break if you need to. Try and keep the whole of the front foot down. You shouldn't be past the toes. Back leg is almost straight towards the floor, hips pressing in towards the ground. 15 seconds to go, and then we're going to go into those movements between the lunge and the sit back. 3, 2, 1. So you're going to come up to that tall lunge again. And then you're going to sit back towards your heel with your bum. Your front leg goes straight. Hold your toes, lean forward. Feel that long stretch up this leg. And then forward into the lunge. 30 seconds of this. Transition between the two positions. So lunging, pressing into the floor. Straight leg, bend forward, over it. Long stretch up the hamstring. Ten more seconds left on these, switching between the lunge and the bend forward, lunge. Take your time, there's no rush, one more each way. Good job. From here, you're going to come to seated, and you've got some choices of how you're going to sit on the floor. You can go straddled, probably the hardest way to sit. You want to get your bum cheeks out of the way so you're sat on the bony bit of your bum. You can go crook, so your feet come out, or butterfly, the soles of the feet are together, or you can sit cross-legged, however you are going to be the most comfortable. From here, you're going to bring either your hands up to your shoulders with your elbows out, you're going to sit nice and tall, or you can just leave the hands in front, whichever one you prefer. From there, you're going to rotate round to one side, pause, and then rotate round to the other, all the time staying upright. So the hands are in the front and just moving around with you. So you go from gazing over your right leg to the centre, then gazing over your left. So you're twisting through your upper back and mid-back. Sitting as tall as you possibly can. Either hands down, out in front, or lifted so the elbows are high by the sides. Sitting tall, breathing naturally, just rotating side to side. And one leg, and then over the other. Good job. 15 more seconds left on this one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're going to twist over towards one leg. You're going to lean down. Head's going to go towards the knee. You're going to sit back up to tall. You're going to rotate round to the other leg. And then you're going to lean and fold yourself over that leg. So it's the same rotations that we've just done. But once you've rotated over the leg, you're going to lean forward down towards the knee. Feel a long stretch up the side of the body. You're going to keep alternating between these two. Take time. Doesn't matter how far you lean forward, as long as you're feeling kind of stretch up the back of the body, maybe in the back of the leg on the other side. 30 more seconds to go here. Rotating round, leaning forward. If you want to leave your arms up, you can. Or you can have them on the floor and you can reach down each leg towards the shin, the ankle, the foot, as you rotate across. Last one. And then you're going to come back to the centre. This is where I show you how unflexible I am. Either straddled here or with bent legs, and you're going to fold yourself forward. And you're going to reach with your fingers, and you can use the minute and you can creep your fingers forward on your exhales. So you're going to try and relax, head down towards the ground, bending through the back, leaning forward. Long stretch up the back of the legs, maybe the inside of the legs, depending on how you're seated. You just try to fold yourself forward towards the floor. I'm just going to hold here for a minute. We're about 25 seconds in. And as I said, it's the easiest. You might have to creep your fingers forward and reach slightly further. You can use your exhales to help. Let's get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Got 20 seconds left here. Try and relax. Bending forward. 10 more seconds left in this position. On your next exhale, try and creep a little bit further forward. So inhale, exhale, creeping the fingers a little bit further. And then very, very slowly bring yourself back up to seated. Grab a drink if you need one. Take some layers on if you're sweating. That's once through. We're going to do it all again. Hopefully you have a rough idea what I'm talking about this one. It's exactly the same amount of time, same positions. We're going to start at the top. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds before we begin. We're going to be back into that child's pose when we first start. So your toes are going to be together, your knees will be wide, and we're going to be laying forward towards the floor. Take 10 more seconds to relax before we go back through another round of this. Deep breath in and out. Okay. Into that central child's pose. So either arms fully extended, head towards the floor, hips back towards heels, or we are on our forearms, extending our spine long, reaching from our fingertips or the top of our head all the way through to our hips. We're spending a minute here. In through the nose, out through the mouth, relax into the position. Try to get as long as possible from our fingertips down to our bum. Reaching tall, 20 more seconds in this position. Head and forehead towards the ground, chest towards the ground. No matter which position you are in. 10 seconds to go before we transition to one side. Then nice and relaxed in this position, de-stressing, long stretch through the spine. Left hand towards left edge of mat, right hand on top of the left. Head goes down in the middle. So you're twisting to the side. Legs stay exactly where they were. Just one side of your mat you've twisted towards. Long stretch out the opposite side of the body. Head and chest are still going through towards the ground. No matter if you're forearm, you'll still feel it down the side of your body. Just twisting through the side. Hips towards heels, sinking down and reaching long with our head and our hands. Halfway through this side. Try to relax here. Use the exhales to relax into the stretch. Should be easier than the first time that we did it. You've got 15 seconds left in this position before we transition to the other side of the mat. And nice and relaxed in this position. Okay, in your own time, take your right hand to the right edge of the mat. Take your left hand on top of your right, and then your head and your chest go through towards the floor again. Again, long stretch out the opposite side of the body. Nothing wrong again with being on the elbows or the forearms. Twisting towards the side. Head stays down towards the mat, neutral with our spine. Hips pressing back towards heels, knees wide, toes together. Trying to relax in this position again. Use your exhale to sink deeper into it or to reach further with those fingers. Stay nice and relaxed in this position. Got 20 more seconds before we move on to our hands and our knees. Breathe nice and naturally in through the nose, out through the mouth. Long, deep breaths into the side of our page. Taking your time. 3, 2, 1. Come to hands and knees. We are going forward over the wrists and then sitting back onto the heels. You need to take the weight of your hands completely in between. That's fine. Forward over the wrists, back onto the heels. Take time. Long stretch up the forearm as we go forward. And then relaxing back as we go back. Get another full minute here. Taking your time back and forth. Gaze down between the hands. Hands ideally under shoulders, knees ideally underneath the hips. Take your time in between each position. 15 more seconds left on this one, shuffling forward, or sinking forward over the wrists. Hands stay flat. 10 more seconds. Okay, sit back, take the pressure off of those wrists. Your next one is the down dog into cobra. So your options again. Down facing dog, heels towards the floor, hips high, head through. back down to the hands and knees, and then pressing back up again. That's your first option. Your second option is to transition down into a cobra, long stretch through the front of the body, and then to transition back. So there are your two options, down to the knees in between, or down into a cobra in between. If you need to drop to the knees in between the two positions to get there, that is fine. We've got 30 more seconds. Take your time at each end of the range of motion. Feel a long stretch at the front of the body here. And at the back of the legs in your downward facing dog. If you want to pedal heels left and right in this position, you can. Still a long stretch where the body needs it. 10 seconds left here. Almost there on this one, last position. Sit back onto those heels again. Rest the wrists. Come into the hands and knees for your cats and your cows. The belly button drops, head forward. Head towards the sky and back towards the sky, head through towards the legs. Spend a second in each position. Long stretch for that spine. Pushing in each direction. Breathing nice and naturally. Taking time as you move between each one. Halfway. 20 more seconds left on these cats and these cows. Try and get these shoulders away from our ears. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Arms stay straight. Break whatever you need. There's a lot for the wrists. Sit back, shake them out, come back. 3, 2, 1. Again, shake the wrists. We're going to do 30 seconds threading on each side. If I threaded too much last time, just rotate up and come back down to the hands and knees. If not, you're going to thread through, and then you're going to rotate to the sky. So it's either from the hands and knees position up, and just back down to the start, or thread and reach. Nearly there on this side, whichever option that you picked. Do one more, and then transition onto the other side. So threading again. Reaching towards the sky, so we drop that shoulder towards the floor, thread the arm through the gap, and then look up towards the sky and reach, or you just come down to the mat in between each one, rotate and reach up towards the ceiling. Whichever one is good for you, it's absolutely fine. 10 more seconds left here. Good, and then back over to the first side. So the same thing we just did on the first side. Threading that needle through, and then reaching up, or hand to the mat, reaching to the sky. Whichever one works for you, take your time. 5 more seconds, one more of each position. And then swap to the second side. Maybe there on this one. Threading or starting with a hand down, opening towards the sky. Pick an option that works for you. Breathe nice and naturally. Move slowly. 15 seconds left on here. Almost there for the hands and the knees. Good. Last one of those, and then get your nice soft object for your knee. Knee goes on the mat, foot is forward into that lunge position. Bum is squeezed, belly button is squeezed, torso stays upright. We press forward and through with that hip, feeling that deep stretch up in front of that hip joint. Breathing naturally. Take your time in this position. Ten more seconds here. Thumb squeeze, pressing that hip through. Take your front foot a little bit further forward, hand goes down to the mat, drop those hips down towards the floor. Back leg is virtually straight. Front foot is down, knees not past toes, and if you can, drop down to your elbows. And spend 30 seconds in this position before we do the forward and back movements. Got 10 more seconds left here. Coming back up into that tall lunge and then sitting back, pulling the toes towards you, leaning forward. Lunging, hips to the floor, and then tilting forward over that leg, straighten the leg, long stretch up the back. Again, just 30 seconds on this one, transitioning between the two before we swap sides. Leaning forward, one more in the lunge, and then swap legs. Other knee comes to the mat. Come forward into that tall lunge, bum squeeze, belly button squeeze, pushing the hips forward. Staying nice and upright, breathing naturally. Long stretch or deep stretch in the front of this hip. Just, a minute here. Nearly there on these ones now. 10 more seconds on this position before we move down to the deeper lunge. Breathing naturally. Front foot goes slightly further forward, hands go down, press the hips into the floor, keep your gaze towards the end of your mat. And if you can, drop down to your elbows. You've got 20 more seconds left in this position. Pushing your hips down towards the ground, back leg virtually straight, front knee doesn't go past front toe. Okay. And from here, you're going to come back up, you're going to push back, straight leg, long stretch up the back of this leg as you lean forward over it, and then hips go towards the floor into a nice lunge. Just 30 seconds of this, 10 seconds done already. Transitioning nice and slowly between the straight leg with the lean forward and the deep lunge. 5 more seconds or one more time in each position. Perfect. Bring the leg back, take the mat away, come to seated. Either straddled, butterfly with the feet together, or cross-legged, bum cheeks out of the way, sat on the bony bit of the bum. Sitting as tall as we possibly can. Imagine I'm tugging on the top of your head. You're going to go hands down or hands in the shoulders, and you're going to rotate, just twisting towards one leg and twisting towards the other. We've got a minute here. You've got 3 more minutes of work left in total. Facing to finish. Twisting side to side, looking over the leg back towards the centre, and twisting the other way. So it's just the centre of the back rotating from side to side. Halfway. Try and stay seated as tall as you possibly can. You're going to feel all the muscles in the back of your body and your abs working to keep you seated as upright as you possibly can be. It's not comfortable, your body's not used to it. Take your time, moving from one side to another. Breathing deeply in now. 5 more seconds left here, then we're going to add that lean in across each direction. Okay, next time you rotate, you're going to lean forward over the leg. Come back up slowly, rotate to the other side, lean forward over the leg. Again, a minute here. Taking your time in each position. Might be able to lean slightly further than you did before. As you rotate round, try and stay as upright as you can in the middle, and then fold over the other leg. So you go up to seated fully in between each bend, over each leg. Nearly there, you've got 20 seconds left on this one. Inside of your legs, backs of your legs will be definitely starting to feel this. Side of your back. Last one. And again, whichever leg position you want to go into, we're going to come forward and we're going to lean forward through the centre, over those legs, or in the middle of your straddle. Eyes down towards the floor, reaching forward as much as possible. Deep breath in and out, using that exhale to reach slightly further across the mat if you can. You've got 30 more seconds left here, using every exhale to creep those fingers further forward, flexing through the hip, arching through the back. Long stretch up the back of the legs, the inside of the legs. Nice deep, controlled breathing. 10 more seconds left here. Can you inch a little bit deeper into it? Try and stay nice and calm. And you can relax, you are done. Good work. Feeling a little bit more stretched out. You did good.